Welcome back to Moving to New Zealand. Today I have a guest named Aaron, and he's joining. I just met him a couple minutes ago, so I will get to know him as you guys listening get to know him. So I start off with this question. When did you move to New Zealand? How long have you been here?
I've been here since the end of 2013. I came here in December. I came here as a backpacker. I came
Oh,
here as a cherry picker.
did you?
Yeah,
On a working holiday
I
visa?
did. My ex and I did Australia
Okay.
for 2 years.
Oh, theirs is a 2-year program?
It's a 2 year one for Europeans. I only got 1 year. I went
Okay.
back to the US and paid off some credit card bills and took care of some stuff. But then
Yeah.
I came back to see her and
Oh.
finish touring Australia. And this was the other visa that we could get. So
Wow, so New Zealand since 2013. Okay, so you came, like, 2 years after the earthquakes. Were you in Christchurch?
yeah, we first landed in Christchurch. So when we first got here and setting up the bank accounts, that's when they had the Restart Mall, like the shipping container mall.
My father-in-law started that. He built like, he was the head of Restart. Yeah, because he had a store in town, and that was demolished, and he just needed to do something because he could no longer trade, and he didn't wanna reopen, so he was, like, the director or whatever of Restart, yeah. So
Whoa.
that's cool that you mentioned that. No one ever mentions that because 'cause it's gone now, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I remember walking into the container and opening my bank account and
Oh,
everything.
because the bank was in the container.
Yeah, the bank was it was a container bank.
Yeah,
And then we went to some of the, container shops around there. So
that's so cool. I love that you remembered the name of it too. Because some people will be like, "Oh, the Container Mall or
I
something."
kind
So
of miss it. I wish they kind of kept it as an art piece in a way.
well, I was trying it was on Cashel Street, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Because now there's Container stores, but they're over near Little High. Um, I don't know what that area is called. Oh, it's called Salt, south of something. Um, but yeah, there's, like, some restaurants and little things over there.
Been there before.
It's
Probably been slightly
also
drunk a few times in that
Yeah,
area,
it's
but yeah.
also very quiet. Like, I'm always sad that there's no one using it, so, but I think it might just I don't know why it's quiet. Okay, so what state did you move from?
I moved from Colorado.
We have a lot of those.
Yeah, there seems to be a good correlation. There's like I feel like there's a culture. The culture is a bit similar. The vibe is similar. The nature is a bit similar. The attitude is a bit similar. It's the same
Okay.
size and population of New Zealand as
Is
well.
it 5,000,000 people?
5 million people with the same surface area as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so
The
you're just, like, at home
the only
on an island.
yeah, the only difference is Colorado doesn't have an ocean and New Zealand's at sea level.
Yeah.
So like Mount Cook
Oh,
is
yeah, because Colorado's so high.
I think it's like the top of Mount Cook is not that far off from my hometown's altitude.
Okay.
So
My friend was just visiting from Chicago. They left yesterday, but they ski in Colorado a lot, and, she was talking about altitude sickness. I've never experienced that, and I guess if you're used to it, then you don't, but yeah, I was like, "What?" I did not know that was as severe as it can be for some people. I don't know. Have you ever had that? Probably not if you're
well,
from
I
there.
I guess it's something too, like, growing up in Colorado, I remember this going in for a chest X-ray once. I think it's just growing up there in the high altitude, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Wow, you have such big lungs." Like, wow. That's
Oh,
probably my mother's side is Slovenian ancestry, so that's a bit
okay.
mountainous, and I think
Yeah.
I had some of those adaptations.
Big lungs, wow.
That was
Like,
the
that's a
weirdest
flex.
the weirdest medical compliment I've ever gotten in my life, but, I don't experience it when I go back too
Yeah.
much, but it's, like my parents, they're more elderly now, and I used to be the person to laugh at the tourists who would come to our local tourist traps and like, why are they spinning out? Or like, they'd always have
Yeah.
dry eyes and their noses would bleed and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. Well, the dry eyes could be, like,
It's
the marijuana, maybe.
it wasn't legal at that.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
it got legalized after I
Oh,
moved.
after you moved out. Yeah.
But it's because Colorado is incredibly dry. So it's a
Yeah.
semi-arid desert. So like it's at times like 10% humidity
Okay.
and high altitude. And now I'm the tourist when I go back. So like my parents will walk up the stairs and like I'm out of breath. Like getting off the airplane, I'll have a beer and just get destroyed by it, which is great. I'm a cheap date when but
That's funny. I know I've driven through Colorado on road trips, but I haven't spent a significant amount of time there. So, it does seem like a lot of like 80% of the Americans I meet here are from Colorado, though, so
I'm noticing that, yeah, that's like, I feel like Washington, Oregon, and Colorado seem to be a huge chunk of the expats who end up
yeah.
living here, and I think it's just we're similar in culture
Yeah, that
as
makes
well.
sense. Well, I'm from New Hampshire, and I never meet anyone from New Hampshire,
I never
but we're small, so there would be a smaller, like, pool of people moving. Also, people in New Hampshire just generally don't leave.
give out.
Like, they go to Boston to wo you know, like, people I grew up with, they, like, live in Boston and work in Boston, but they still come home to New Hampshire on weekends and summers, and if they've done well, they have holiday homes there now, and if not, they stay with their parents, you know?
Yeah,
And so it tends to be a place that people don't leave that much of, but I have met some people from Vermont and Massachusetts here, so
I
close.
there's a few rare ones I've met. I have a mate, she's from North Dakota,
Oh,
and
okay.
that's like,
Yeah, you don't know a lot of people from North Dakota.
same thing like, "Oh, road trip through it,"
Yeah,
when I was a kid or something. And there was another rare state that I had. I think it was a South Dakota one, or I'm like, "Whoa," but it's like the
yeah.
population of these states is nothing.
No, no, just massive, like, on the map, but not a lot of people and probably a lot of same, they don't really leave.
What's the population of New
I don't
Hampshire?
know, I forget.
If,
I looked it up not too long ago, but, it's not it wasn't as many as New Zealand. I know, because I
it
was, like, trying to figure that out.
it's a smaller
It's
area,
pretty
so that
small.
makes sense.
Yeah. Like, and it's the the southern part of the state is very populated, and then it gets scarce as you go north. Kind of like here, though. The cities are super populated, and then you go to the country and
Nothing.
there's, like,
Not
no one. Did you grow up in Colorado? Like, that's where you're born and bred? That's where you lived
yes,
your whole life?
yeah.
Yeah. And then you came over here on a fruit picker, working holiday
Yeah,
visa. Yeah, because they still do that visa, don't they?
I would assume
Yeah, I
so,
think they
yeah.
do. And so you obviously just came with, like, your backpack. You didn't have too much with you.
No, yeah, it was just my bag that I bought at REI and also
Yeah,
all the equipment that I bought and, yeah, my partner and
yeah.
we
And so you did a lot of backpacking.
um, not anymore,
Okay.
but, you've been to quite a few countries, probably. I think I counted it, like, it's between 15 and 20,
Oh, nice.
but most of that was backpacking and making money here, not like New Zealand,
Yeah.
mm, and then doing, like, trips to Europe to visit my ex's family
Oh.
or to, like, "Oh, we're transiting through to the US. Let's, book some time and this stopover." So, like, Singapore, Japan,
Oh,
and I've
yeah.
explored some of the Pacific islands around here as well, so
Yeah. So when you, were traveling a lot, how did you decide New Zealand's where I'm gonna stay? Because 'Cause you've been here now a long time.
I'll give you a story
Okay, I love a story.
around the Restart Mall.
Ooh.
So, we first came here and we had our cherry picking
Yeah.
job lined up in Alexandria, and we were staying at a hostel on Barbados Street, and we just bought a car so we could get our vehicle,
Yeah.
get down there. And, we went to the Restart Mall to set up our bank accounts,
Uh-huh.
to explore Christchurch.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was, not too long after that quake. It was one of the key memories that kind of helped me decide to stay was we'd pull out the map and, you get the tourist map from
Yeah.
the information bureau.
Yeah.
And then someone would be like, "Oh, are you lost?" And, "Oh yeah, can you help us get over here, over there?" A few more times fine, and we know where we're going. We've got the layout. And then eventually, we actually were just looking at the map to see, "Oh, where are we? What street are we on?" And
Yeah.
then, like, people would just keep coming to help us, and we had to hide the map so that we we would stop getting out so
Oh
much.
my gosh, really? People were that friendly?
Yeah.
Would you say Christchurch is still that friendly today? Y
It's
I
a
would
good
like you to take a map and go out on Barbados Street and do an experiment for me.
I'll get back to you if that happens. Yeah, that's a good
But,
experiment.
oh, no one has maps anymore. They'll be on their phones, and then you can't tell if they're, you know on TikTok or if they're looking at Google Maps.
There's gotta be an eyesight. They've gotta have a physical map, and I'll pull it out, and I'll look like
Yeah.
some lost millennial and
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, yeah, I just landed here," and I'll beef up my accent a bit, and
So this is what so basically the helpful nature of the Christchurch people is what made you decide to this is home?
yeah, yeah, I was disillusioned with the States, a while back,
Yeah.
and I'll just give you the backstory a little bit.
Yeah.
So, like, I graduated high school, I think it was, around the crash of '08
Yep.
happened. I was just working retail jobs and all these other things, minimum wage stuff. I couldn't get ahead.
Yeah.
Um, things were going nowhere. The city that I grew up in, the culture was toxic, politically toxic. And my best friend's uncle at the time, he owned a cherry orchard up in Canada.
Oh,
And this is where
okay.
this starts, right?
Okay.
And he went there after like, around the time of the Vietnam War, so he wasn't a draft dodger, and he got, like, a conscientious objector exemption or something,
Okay.
and that came through, he decided to leave anyway, so he went to British Columbia, and he came down from I think it was a Thanksgiving, and he said, "Oh, Eric, don't you like, if you wanna just come and pick some cherries for me one day, like, just come up," and,
Yeah.
I just hit the wall, and I decided to do it. And I went out to British Columbia
Okay.
and I picked cherries for him. And I met all of these French, Quebecois
Mhm.
Canadians who did the visa for Australia. And that's how I
Oh.
got the idea to do it. I found out, well, I had to send my visa to the Canadians. And I really liked BC and I toured British Columbia. We had someone fall during the cherry harvest. They broke their arm and the social health care just took care of it. It was rural. There was no wait time told in the States, and it was just whatever. And people were friendly, and BC was more what I wished my home was like. And I had a good time. I drove through BC, did a little road trip, and came back down through Washington. And I just remember, like, a key memory for me was like entering Canada. In this was up at the top of Idaho, and
Mm.
you go through kiosk that's customs.
Yeah.
And they're just like, "Oh, do you have any guns or,
Yeah.
tobacco or anything, eh?" And, like, "No." "Okay, have fun." And but it
This was
was
pre-passport needed days for
this was
Canada,
right
right?
after this, so I actually met the
Okay.
I went up there before once, and that was the pre-passport
Mm.
era, but, even that time, going back through the border, and it was the same with this returning this time as well, 2 different border checkpoints, but the same experience, where you show up
Yeah.
to the American border and there's this like wall of cameras.
Yeah.
So like the first time before the passport stuff came into effect, um, we showed to the American side, and of course the building is bigger, um, and there's cameras everywhere, and I took a picture of it. I took a picture of us, kind of entering the
Yeah.
states
Yeah.
with my camera. It's like I'm returning from holiday vacation, and we pull up to the window, and this guy who looks like typical, like, gym bro,
Yeah.
steroids, uniform, bulging muscles, a bit too big for an outpost in the middle of nowhere. It's like, "Sir, did you take a photo of this installation?" And it's like, Yeah, I'm coming back for
Yeah.
my vacation, right? My little trip." He's like, "Sir, I need to see the camera." And he took it and deleted the photo of it, of this
It's like what Hell's Angels do.
and it's this outpost in the middle of nowhere that is the security risk is like minimal and absurd.
Yeah.
And it was just like that vibe, and that tension and that ridiculousness like returned, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm back in the States." And I had the same thing going back into it where I stayed in Vancouver for a few days. Beautiful. Met some homeless people there. They were like beyond this, like they're drug addicts, beyond, any social help. And I'm
Mm.
walking around at night, 2 in the morning, they leave me alone. It's a bit dodgy, but like nothing happens. And then like there's, going from Vancouver to Seattle, Washington, and watching the intensity explode, watching the homeless population explode, watching the crime and the graffiti and like, poverty culture. We can't take care of our own people just blow up. And that was a key indicator to me of, all these things that I grew up with that I didn't like and a lot of other stuff. And I was like, no, I'm done.
Mm,
And I hit the wall again. And it was just, I saved up enough money, $300. Probably didn't I didn't meet the travel insurance requirement, and I did my working holiday, and I just showed up in Australia with $300 and a cherry picking job in the middle of nowhere in
wow.
Tasmania lined up, and I made it work, and now I'm here in New Zealand, but that's my little yeah,
That's how you got here
that's how I got here,
and
yeah.
decided to stay here. So, what did you do from working holiday visa? What was your next, like, pathway? Because you're a resident now?
I'm
Or,
a citizen,
you are a citizen,
yeah.
okay. So, yeah, so how did you get from cherry picker to citizen? And was it hard or
It was quite difficult,
yeah.
so yeah,
I ask that because a lot of people listening, obviously,
well, this is the
the draw is like people are like, I want to move to New Zealand. How do I do that? Like, and the visa stuff has changed since you did it. It's changed since
yeah,
I did
yeah,
it,
the
but
system
it's,
has changed.
but it's still kind of gives like a little bit of a glimmer of what that process is like.
So for our case, we did the cherry picking stuff and we ended up in a wine region north of here.
Okay.
And it was just work and we eventually got stuck. And we spent a lot of our time and we just kind of integrated into this little community
Yeah.
and went back down and did another cherry picking season. I was like, oh well,
Yeah.
my partner didn't want to go back to Europe. I didn't want to go back to the
Uh,
States. Like this just fits. The pace of life is slower. It's more
and that was
chill.
north of here.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
north of here.
Okay.
Mm, And And well, and I did some research, looking at the immigration system. I studied the point system.
Mm,
I was okay, well, what are the requirements for getting
yeah.
points? And part of my time in Colorado is I worked for the plant nursery.
Okay.
And it's like, well, if I can get taken on as a nursery person,
Yeah.
this is under the ANZ SEO codes of skilled labor. And if I can get an employer to pay, above this wage threshold,
That's what, yeah.
I can get a work visa, like a skilled employment work
Oh,
visa, and
yeah.
then that's a pathway to the residence.
Mm.
So I wrote every plant nursery in the country and didn't get much of a reply, didn't get many interviews. And of course, the one that responded was the one that was in the small town we were in first place.
Oh my god.
And I got in with them and I think he was keen to have me because, this drive.
Yeah.
And it was eh, from his perspective, it was hard to find,
People
local people
local.
that
Yeah.
drive or like, he had some issues sourcing employees. So, I
Wait, do
wasn't
you think you had drive because you're American or because you were eager to stay here?
because I was eager to stay
Yeah.
and I wanted it
Yeah.
and it was the right choice for me and my, ex at the time. And so what he did is he put me on an apprenticeship and the apprenticeship gets rid of the income requirement. And
Okay.
that's how I got my residency.
Because you weren't reaching the income, threshold with
There
that job.
was no way I
You
was
could
gonna
reach
meet
that.
that.
Okay, but the apprenticeship okay, that's
The
cool.
apprenticeship removed the income threshold and gave me the points boost that was required. So I used my garden center experience to get the work visa, had to submit a bunch of resumes from people that he didn't like
Y
to and he
yeah.
gave them to me to give to immigration, and he put a job ad out for it because these weren't on the skills shortage list.
Mhm.
So we were eventually able to convince them at immigration that yeah, there's
He
no locals
yeah.
that are up to spec.
Yeah.
We'll give this guy a shot. That's how I did it.
And so how long were you there for at that job?
Finished. I got out. I was there for 4 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But this is an issue with being an immigrant too. And this is an issue I have with the visa system is they'll tie you to an employer, not an industry.
Yeah.
And so what I didn't realize going into this
Oh.
was he actually wanted someone to do his chemical spraying.
Oh.
So I and and it was dodgy stuff, and I didn't agree with it, and we had some, falling out over some stuff, and I had an accident one day,
Yeah.
and I didn't like the way he handled it, and that was right after I completed the apprenticeship and the
Okay.
residency was granted,
Oh, okay, so you can leave.
and then I left and I went back to the vineyards,
Y
which
yeah,
were safe.
yeah.
And I worked at a gardener at a vineyard with a vineyard owner who was a nursery worker.
Oh, nice.
So I got to carry on planting native trees
Uh,
and doing and stabilizing it.
I always, like, get weirded out when I see people openly spraying here, like, I'm at, like, a campground with, like, kids and or we are at this beautiful garden recently, and then all of a sudden the backpacks with the spray come out, I'm like, "Ugh."
Yeah, it's a bit tricky. Like you need to know the science of it to know what's safe, what's not, what's a bit dodgy, and yeah, do you trust like the air,
Yeah.
or months?
No,
Exactly right.
s yeah.
So like,
Even Evil Tasman were there 3 weeks ago and, like, right, it's like, "This is marked with 1080," or is that what it's called? 1080 or 1090, whatever.
uh, oh,
Cyanide,
you're talking
I
about the
don't know.
pellets
No.
that they drop.
Yeah, my
Oh,
husband says it's like 10 8. I don't know. He said
it's
whatever it
1080,
is,
yeah.
he's like, "It is bad." And he's like, "Even America bans it." And he's like, "So,
Yeah,
yeah."
it's one of those things too, and this is the trouble with like New Zealand or like the reason that those chemicals are used in horticulture is because to do it with manual labor
It's so hard. Yeah.
would be backbreaking and
Yeah.
insane and uneconomical. And this is the way to get around it,
Yeah.
to increase food production or to save labor costs. So like I understand both sides of it. And with the 1080 as well, New Zealand is got some of the coolest. It's a biological
It
hotspot, and
is.
it's under
Yeah.
threat. But the issue again is like the staffing issue,
Yeah.
or how do we get people to trap possums on a cliff face?
Exactly.
So the Department of Conservation is stuck between using this horrible thing to take out mammals that are destroying the bush or killing
Yeah.
bird eggs. And I think they don't like it, but unfortunately, from their standpoint as well, is they don't have another tool in the toolkit that works at
Mhm.
economic scale to achieve anything. So it's like there's no
Yeah.
good way to
'Cause
win.
sometimes I've seen, like, when they use the traps, but then they don't have the manpower to empty the traps
Yeah.
and stuff
So
like that. Yeah.
and it's the tricky thing about being a country in the middle of nowhere with a few
I
people.
know. Yeah.
So yeah, there's some of these solutions, and there's no good solution.
And I think it might be a little more jarring to people, like, where, the marketing for New Zealand is so good about being clean and green,
Yeah,
and
there's
so, like, you have this expectation and perception, and then you're like, "Wait, what?"
show
Um,
up and it's a bit country, it's a bit like
yeah.
at times, and, eh,
Yeah.
yeah, there are times that it's definitely not, and you see this with North Canterbury, as well. I think doing the water, it's like something they have some of, like, the most ridiculous nitrate levels in the water, and it's because, the sheep and, like, wool prices crashed, a bunch of people did dairy conversion.
Oh, yeah.
And, that runoff has to go somewhere,
Mhm.
the urea runoff from the fertilizer or, the effluent or something, and then a lot of it ends up in the groundwater.
Yeah.
So it's some of the practices or the way industry have trended here kind of ruin that image. So it's like part of the country, like dock or our electricity generation being natural or the push for electric vehicles, that's green. But
Yeah.
if you go to the countryside, they're not going to fight the dairy lobby when it's paying a
No.
lot of the tax income here.
Exactly.
So,
It's just, and very nuanced. I mean, did you have a perception of New Zealand before you came here?
no, not really.
Yeah, so there
And
was no big surprises because you
well,
didn't really know?
well, I didn't really know, and this is kind of the thing of working in the nitty gritty of dodgy agriculture times of I knew what I was getting into, and I still preferred it to where I came from.
Yeah.
I still prefer that kindness. Like like the farming practices here, even though people can be critical about them or whatever. It's nothing compared to the States,
No,
right?
no,
It's
it's
nothing
not like the
compared
same type of factory farming.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not factory farming, at least the cattle are outside.
Uh-huh.
The farmers genuinely do care about their livestock
Yeah.
or many of them there are a few toxic people out there, but they genuinely try to care about the environment. Like, there's that, like, sense of fauna, there's that sense of responsibility and
Yeah.
a greater, purpose here, and there are some toxic elements, but it beats the US by miles.
Uh, Speaking of the agriculture, I don't know if a bunch of people have sent me these videos. There's a new butter, an American made, well, the product is American. I think it's made somewhere else or packaged maybe here, but it's butter from America and they're selling it here and it's cheaper than olive oil butter by like not much, 20 cents or something. But people are buying it because, everyone will save some money on groceries when they can. And then people like, "Why is this butter not yellow? Why does this butter have a weird texture? Like, what the heck is up with these American cows? Why is this happening?" Yeah, and so there's a lot of complaints from the Kiwis about this, like, American sourced butter. Um, so
This is very common, and this is an interesting thing about coming here and being a cherry picker, is I hated cherries. I hated cherries my whole life until I had them off the tree. But that's
yeah,
because they're fresh. I'm getting the
yeah,
Canadian one. So, like, he New Zealand grows some of the best quality food ever,
yeah,
but we don't see it as locals because it goes to export.
uh-huh.
So, like, you can buy quality New Zealand lamb, like,
Oh,
cheaper in the
yeah.
US,
Yep.
like, unless you do like, home kill or something.
Yeah,
A lot of it gets it was the same with the cherries. So, like, the firsts go to Asia for Christmas presents or,
yeah.
there's some cultural things, but some of those single cherries, they'll sell for $1 each
For 1
for
cherry.
1 cherry.
Oh, wow.
And when you go to, the supermarkets here, you're getting the seconds. And
Yeah.
it's like, but, um, it it still applies to the local produce too. Like, I'd still buy Angry butter over American butter.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
Well,
I'll
even
t
when I lived in America, I didn't buy that regular stuff. I bought either the Irish butter, like, the imported stuff, or a butter made at a very local farm that
It's
its
yeah,
cows were
right.
yeah, like yeah. Um,
You vote with your money.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
like, I'll pay the extra bit and vote with my money here, knowing that it's gonna support a local farmer
yeah,
instead of shipping it back to the States. Or, like, another crazy one is, Countdown, got rebranded as Woolworths, and it's Woolworths in Australia.
yeah,
But it'd be like the carton milk from Australia would be cheaper than the stuff from the farm down the road that was putting it in cartons, and it was just like Woolworths trying to sell Aussie milk for cheaper. It's like,
yeah.
no, so I shop at New World and Pack and Save now.
I was just messaging a friend earlier this morning because I stayed up until 11:30 last night, and that is not what I normally do, and because I get up at 5:15. So, like, I'm generally, like, in bed at 9:30 or 10,
Mhm.
but, like, I was saying I've felt the shift as I've gotten older. Like, in the past 3 years, I do require more sleep. So, like, staying up until 11:30, like, it was not I wasn't drinking or anything. It was just today I felt hungover, and it's only because of the lack of sleep. And it's like the shift is I used to be able to get 5 hours of sleep and be perfect. So I was saying, I'm like, "This is a sign we're getting older." Because my
Well,
friend's struggling with this too right now. He works from home and a lot of his work gets done at nighttime after kids are in bed and stuff like that. And so he's like losing out on all his productive time because we're old as shit and we just need more sleep now.
I feel that I'm a 40 bracket
Okay.
and doing an engineering degree here,
Oh, did you do an engineering degree here?
I'm still doing it.
Oh, when did
Um,
you start that?
I started it it's another life story. I started it a year after the pandemic.
Okay.
So when you get residency here,
Yeah.
after 3 years, student allowance, student
Yeah.
loans, all that kicks in.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I'm getting older. My partner at the time was older than me as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're gonna hit the age limits for some of this stuff if we don't do them now. So
Oh.
let's do this
Oh,
now.
like the school has a limit? The schooling
Well,
programs?
for things like student loans, student
Okay.
allowance,
Yeah.
there is a
Threshold for
there's
that?
a drop off of
Okay.
support.
Okay. That makes sense.
I think I can't remember if it's 40, 45-ish, but, because, the taxpayers aren't getting the same return,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely blah, blah, blah.
Makes sense. Public education, yeah.
So I decided that, I love airplanes. I've always been a nerd. Father was an engineer. Like, cool. So I went to Air New Zealand, did a year with them to try to get into the aircraft hangar fixing airplanes.
Yeah.
And the pandemic hit 1 month into that. And everything took the industry, jobs went out, and it was like, what? I cut the study stuff set up,
Yeah.
came out of that program with no openings. I'll come here and do this degree and carry on with it
Yeah.
because I love learning and sure.
Yeah.
And it's more general, it's more applicable. I'll do that. But doing it as almost twice the age of everyone else is so difficult.
Yeah. Well, that's like the program I'm doing here, we're all old. So, like, we make fun of the 28-year-old as the baby.
Oh, they so are.
Yeah, like, we're like, "The baby of the NBA." Yeah. Where I'm, like, the average age, and so it's when I say I'm back at school to other, like, friends, people think that I'm here with kids. I'm like, "No, no, 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 like, we're all old." So, yeah, but in your case, most people would do an engineering degree when they're
Well,
younger,
yeah, they
so
come out of high school and
yeah.
they have energy to party and drink and
Oh
stuff.
my god, so yeah, they're be able to pull all-nighters and you're like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and if I like, even working in wine like, if I have a glass of red wine, it's an instant hangover the next
Yeah.
day. I need tons of sleep, I'm slower now, like, that doesn't and it's difficult too, like, being an only child and an immigrant. You
Yeah.
don't have that support network. You don't
Yeah.
have your mom and dad here to buy you a little, uni flat and keep you
Yeah,
so
no. Yeah. Um, I know when I started this, I've been married to a Kiwi for 19 years. So, I mean, I have a shoe-in residency, but I didn't file it and stuff, so I actually did it. I became a resident, last year. I don't know. Yeah,
congratulations.
a permanent resident. So I became a permanent
Yeah.
resident in October, which made me eligible for student loans, but I've already done almost the whole program without them. And so I was like, ugh. Um, but I signed up anyway just to see how the process went. And actually it was like very easy. I mean, it was like, wow, that was
Yeah, the systems here are not
yeah.
bureaucratic as the States.
Yeah. And so and they're interest free
Yes.
until you move the country. And so I was like, holy cannoli, like interest free, that's insane. Although they do charge like there is a fee for each year that you're holding on to it. So I was trying to calculate that. But anyway, yeah, so it is very easy here to do that part once you become a PR. Yeah. And I think I'm eligible for citizenship next year.
It's 5 years from the date of residency for citizenship.
Okay, but from the first residency, not this PR.
Correct.
Yeah. So
It's
oh, okay, so like 2 years from when I became a PR. Because it was 3 years from I think it was 3 years from residency to PR. Does that make sense?
I think, yeah, for mine, it's, when my journey was residency, after 2 years,
Okay.
then you can get PR,
Okay.
and then
Oh, that must have been it. Okay.
and then, so in my case, I was a permanent resident for 1 year before these benefits, right?
Oh,
Just 3
okay.
year timeline.
Okay.
Um, and then citizenship is yeah, it really says 5 years from the initial residency,
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah, that's cool.
it's
So did you have a whole ceremony and stuff?
I did.
Was that nice?
It
Yeah.
was it was really interesting. I got a plant from the nursery that used to do the
Oh.
spraying for us, so I, like, washed the pot.
Oh, were you still working for them when that happened?
No.
Oh, they just sent you a gift?
No, they were the one who supplied the council with the
Oh my
trees.
gosh, that's
It
hilarious.
was really funny. It's like, "Oh, yeah, this is how I know I'm a local."
That's so
So
funny.
I think I moved here, but I wanted to do the ceremony there because that's where I spent most of my time,
Yeah.
and I did, it was more of an American thing too, of I didn't wanna pledge allegiance to King Chucky
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
UK, so I did my citizenship oath in Te Reo Māori,
Yeah.
just
Oh,
kind of like
nice. Yeah.
just to, like, learn the language, help integrate a bit. I didn't realize it was kind of a political statement in, like, the hyper conservative small town. But
I
they
know.
were supportive of it. They were
Okay.
just like, "Well, that took guts," and I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just like, "Oh, this is my way of giving back," and then the shock of people in the room was like, "Oh, whoops."
I know. I didn't know that that it's yeah, I've learned that over time that the whole embracing the native culture and language is political here. Yeah,
It
it's
it was really crazy to me, but, like, half my family is Jewish, and they lost Yiddish language, like, it got
yeah,
wiped out, so, like, of course they support keeping these guys going, and, like, without the Maori flair, like, that's what gives New Zealand its Pacific
I know
chill,
they're
right?
willing to use it in their marketing
Yeah,
campaigns.
there like, that cultural fusion is what makes this different from every other British colony.
Agreed, agreed.
Uh,
Yeah,
like, embrace it, you
it's
know?
beautiful. What is your favorite food here? Like
Ooh,
Kiwi food, or
my
actually, it
favorite
might doesn't even have to be Kiwi, I guess. Because you know why I'm saying that is because a lot of people will, like, name foods that actually were not originated here, they came from other places, like Indian food.
yeah, I'd say I'd have 2, and they're from my local small town. It's a British guy, moved here, pastry chef, does amazing work, and his pies are excellent.
Okay.
I don't know if
That's you think that's
I
the best pie?
I think it's one of the best pies I've ever had in my life.
Where is it? What is it called?
Um,
You can tell me after if you want,
yeah, I'll tell you afterwards.
because I'll give a shout out to what I think is the best pie in Christchurch, although it is bougie.
Yeah, well,
Like,
it's
my husband likes a basic $2, whatever the cheap ones are, but I like the one at the Pie Guy, I think it's called the Pie Man or the Pie Guy, maybe Pie Man, in Riverside. It's right next to the coffee shop.
oh, that's
It's like it's on the outside of it. Yeah, and I bring guests there.
yeah, my local one up there, they use the wine from my
For, like, in the meat
yeah,
sauce?
they use it in the pie.
Oh, maybe I would like it.
Yeah. So I was like, "Oh."
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a bit personal for me.
Yeah, yeah, we'll talk about
It's
that
like I
after.
know where the grapes come from. I've picked
Oh,
them up.
so yeah, that's a local pie. What kind of food do you miss being able to get here? Anything?
Oh, like yeah.
Yeah, like any kind of anything that you could.
That if I could, like, teleport from the States,
Yeah.
it's really stupid, like corn pops, like
Corn Pops, is
corn
that
pop
cereal?
corn pop? No. Yeah, they're
Yellow
yellow, probably
balls?
some dye. They look like corn, but they're probably
Yeah,
not.
it's from when I was a child.
Alphabets, I miss alphabets.
Oh. I feel like I have a, like, core memory. Yes, Corn Pops, I just looked up a photo of it. I have a memory of pouring this at my grandparents had a farm, and must have done a sleepover with my grandmother. I couldn't have been more than 5, maybe even younger. But I remember I went to pour it, and it just was the box was so big, I couldn't, and it went everywhere, all over the table, like, and these little balls were just, like, overflowing out of the bowl, all over the table and stuff. But I excited, and I don't think I got in trouble or anything, but I do remember whoa. Um,
I guess a lot of the cereals actually like Crispix, like all of these random things that I just can't get here. That I never really ate much, but
yeah, but you just, like, miss it. Well, that's just, like, my kids and I miss all these Trader Joe things, but I'm like, we weren't at Trader Joe's that much, but all of a sudden, like, when you just can't get them, you miss them so much. I definitely don't miss, like, American coffee, like, the coffee here is superior
oh,
for
for
sure.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, culture here, so when I go home, I'm, like, looking for an upscale cafe to get a good coffee from, but yeah.
The only way I can do American coffee is like 7-Eleven shit coffee
Ew.
with like a ton of hazelnut creamer,
Oh,
like
okay.
that
So
really
you're
bad.
making it not coffee.
Is
Yeah.
that American coffee?
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
7-Eleven, like like chemically enhanced version of
Yeah,
like
creamer.
evaporated orange
Yeah,
coffee.
yeah. Um, okay, well, I actually have to go pick my daughter up in a few minutes, so this is actually one of the shortest episodes I think I've done, but maybe people will like that because sometimes I go on and on. But is there anything else about like, what's your favorite thing about living here besides the people are nice? What else do you and you can hike easily and but you're not hiking anymore. Yeah.
Um, I'd say it's the pace of life.
Yeah.
And I see this every time I go back to the States, is the reverse culture shock is getting worse and worse and worse, and I'm so glad I left it
Yeah.
because it's there's more things are more communal here. There's more empathy towards the neighbor versus the States is way more individualistic, a
Yeah.
bit more narcissistic in a way, and everyone's in the rat race of, "Oh, I gotta protect myself from everyone else. Here's a lawyer agreement." Like, I enjoy the simplicity and the
Mm.
empathy of being here. Um, I'd say that's probably yeah, besides it's just things of, like, if you're struggling, like, it's not perfect, but, like, using the social systems here, they're there. You don't die trying to get help.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and ocean. Colorado doesn't have an ocean.
I like being
It is
near the sea.
so nice, and I sink in fresh water. I can float in the ocean, so I
Yeah.
love the ocean, like,
Yeah.
that's probably my favorite, yeah.
Yeah, I love being
Easy,
near the sea, for sure.
mountains to sea, 2 hours each
Yeah.
way. It's insane.
Um, and so do you think you'll stay here for the rest of your life?
Yes,
Yeah.
this is home.
Yeah.
This is where I belong.
Well, on that sweet sentiment for anyone thinking about moving to New Zealand, I mean, there you have it. This is home, never leaving, staying here forever. And so, okay, we'll see you next time. Bye. I just want to do a quick follow up after listening back to that episode. First of all, me saying 80% of the Americans I know in New Zealand are from Colorado, that was definitely an exaggeration. It just seems very, very common. I wouldn't say 80%, but I hear it a lot. And then the chemical that I was talking about that they use here for pest control, 1080, yeah, they use it for pest control of possum, rats, and stoats. And it is kind of jarring to see signs when they're using it. And what else? Oh, and I said I didn't know the population of New Hampshire, the state I'm from, and it is about 1.4 million people. So, like a quarter of New Zealand. Okay.